On Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. We supply animal feed, dog and cat food, animal supplements, a wide range of floral supplies, nursery pots, ground cover and shade cloth, and much more. We also stock a wide range of motor vehicle supplies, including automotive oils, filters for all vehicles, engine coolants, and much more. Email us today at cubano_1@hotmail.com or call us today 451-2911. or 493-7175. Cubano Limited. Professional, top quality, and exceptional service.
WEFM, the new fresh sound.
WhatsApp us or call us at 457-9997. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
Alrighty, so time right now, it is 9:26, and it is our Talk to Us segment. It is an open forum session, so this is where you, as listeners, you're able to raise whatever it is that you want to raise with us. And we already have a call coming through. So, good morning, Senor Dave. Why is this? Okay. Morning, Dave.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Yes, my angel. Are you an angel, by the way?
Well, there are different types of angels, so who knows?
Okay. I love how you said that, because there are bad angels in truth. Some of them have to be cast out of heaven. I hope you are not one of those angels cast out of heaven, or you say, you're looking to go to heaven. Anyhow, that's another.
Go ahead.
That's another day. Yeah, I feel that maybe there is that spirit of our one and only national hero, Joseph Chatry, and so much activities over the last few days leading up to National Heroes Day. And I felt good hearing that it was the largest assembly of, and may I say I'm a grateful to know that so much of our brothers and sisters were able to come here. The most I understand, ever since this celebration was started, how much years ago, in terms of going up to the obelisk at Dorsetshire Hill to mark the occasion. I have met, in my time, when I was on my feet, so to speak, I met quite a lot of Garifuna people. And it brings a sense of nationality as far as I'm concerned. Not all of us would have that feeling, because some of us grew up without a history, or not knowing our history, or refusing to know our history. But you see me, Dave Roberts, I speak proudly of my ancestry, and I always love to use the opportunity to big up all my Garifuna people, those especially who are outstanding wherever in the world they are. And there's 600 and something thousand, I can't remember the exact figure, but that could vary, of our Garifuna people. They will not be recognized by some Vincentians as Vincentians, or however you look at the history, for whatever reason. But I'm proud of them. I remember the first time they came here, me and one of them hit it off. And when I say me and one of them, meaning one of the female, I don't know if she's still a professor at the University of Tucson in Arizona, because them days we didn't have. I'm so sorry. Them days we didn't have cellular phone too. Otherwise, I'm sure I would have been in touch with her. And I've never been able to hear anything about her and so on. But welcome to all the guys. Those of you who are still here. And if any one of you know of a Professor Harriet Scarborough, if any one of you who might be hearing my voice, I wish you can tell her friend Dave Robert is still remembering her all the time. We had a wonderful, wonderful first time meeting and so on. So I could go on, but Roleza, where you went to yesterday? Did you go to Greg's or Fancy?
No, I didn't. On Saturday, no, I didn't go anywhere. I didn't go to any of those activities.
Dave, Dave, I am neither an angel, bad or good, but I was in Greg's.
Oh,
And
wonderful.
And I got out there late, but boy, I was able to get some cassava bread.
Some good food?
Oh gosh, man.
Some indigenous food?
I did get some good stuff. Let me tell you, I did get some good stuff. I bought a couple of other little things, some wine out there somebody was selling, but it was so wonderful seeing people.
it was well attended.
It was massively attended.
Okay, good.
Massively attended.
Good to hear that. You didn't get a marijuana wine? Ganja wine?
But let me go on to say that I've had the privilege of going to Belize twice. On one of those occasions, I was able to get the last part of the homecoming in the official recognizing if it was around that time, March 14. I was in Belize at that time. It was a wonderful, wonderful event. And to go to the museum and to meet Garifuna. And let me, Dave, it's not a respect for Garifuna. I am Garifuna. I've got Garifuna blood running in my veins. And so, when you shout out Garifuna, I want to thank you very much because you're also shouting me out too.
All right. Well,
y'all the brothers in blood.
I'm gonna making you a good one. And
yeah, well, but you see, when you started off, people say it's biased and it's prejudicial and so forth. You greet, he said, but you ain't greet me. But I'm used to that. But I don't take it in any negative way, whether it was deliberate or what or whatever. But I wish you dearly you could find your long lost Miss Cabral. Yes, and that I hope that the memories you have, Professor Harriet Scarborough.
And when I said today marks the anniversary of my mother born on the 16th of March. I won't say the year, but God bless her wherever she is and so on.
Yeah.
I can't forget that. It lives with me. It was my mother, and I always remember the 16th of March. Thank you. Have a good day.
You as well, Dave. Thank you. All right. See somebody else calling. Good morning.
Morning.
Roleza. All right, turn down your radio for me, please. Turn on your radio for me, please.
Yeah, it's turned down.
Oh, okay.
I have not spoken to you for so long. I've forgotten your name. Roleza, and I should forget your name because you're the essential ladies that I like a lot.
Okay.
Morning to Doc.
How are you, Mr. Horn? How are you?
I'm trying to still focus as much as the good Lord would allow me.
Good.
And Mr. Maka.
Oh, Maka, he actually stepped out. Well, he'll be back with us tomorrow. So it's just Doc and I for now.
Okay. Okay. So you guys in the studio, I want you to. I know Amerindians and Caribs. I understand what are those people. What those people are. But I want somebody to explain to me what is Garifuna. Garifuna is what kind of people? Straight hair, curly hair, white, black. What kind of people is Garifuna? Because I've been hearing a lot about Garifuna in recent times.
Garifuna would be the mix of Caribs and Africans. And so they'd be mixed. It's not necessarily straight hair like you might see for some Caribs, but they're just mixed.
So then it's a trio: African, a Vincentian, and we call it Garifuna. It's a trio thing.
No, not necessarily, Mr. Horn. Mr. Horn, let's go back several hundred years, right? If we may. And sometime in the 1600s, there would have been two processes taking place, some of it disputed, that there would have been a shipwreck of a slave ship in which persons made it off to Bequia, and it's unclear whether there were two shipwrecks, and eventually the African slave were adopted by the Caribs. They didn't kill them or anything like that, or so as invaders, or they helped them, and they moved to. And then another theory, in addition to that slaves in Martinique and so forth, and the link with the French, early link with the French, that persons also came here.
And I think from Barbados as well, some of the slaves.
Well, and over a period of time, the slavery in Barbados, the word went around that St. Vincent was a place where there was freedom. And a lot of slaves lost their lives, taking rafts, taking all sorts of things to reach over from Barbados to St. Vincent. The mating of the Africans with the Caribbean, and repeated mating, and the genes and so forth, created, instead of the Arawak Carib, who might have been dubbed as a yellow Carib, there emerged an African type of Kalinago called a Black Carib in short. You understand? And so over a period of time later on, we then had people coming from Madeira and from England, from India, and of course
Madeira, Spain,
Portugal, and then throughout that period of time, of course, the Massa would have also had his way. Europeans and so forth would have had his way with some slaves and so forth. So you had the Mustafino. Bottom line is that Vincentianism, or the Vincentian, is considered to be a combination of not only the Caribs and the Africans, although African predominate, but also a tinge, also the Indians, the Portuguese, and Europeans, of which it seems mainly Scottish would have been the predominant origin. I did some ancestry, or at least my son did, and it shows where in Africa we came from and how much percentage from Wales and Ireland and Scotland, that sort of thing. So the long and short of it is not a trio. It's more than a trio, it's a combination. However, some people will have more of one thing versus the other. Some people will have more Indian blood. Some people would have more Carib blood. Some people have more things, but there isn't a person who's, let's say, 100% one way or the other, who's Vincentian. Although we now have people who've come from Africa who are truly African, who've naturalized here, and they're Vincentian, you know? And there are people who are from England who have married and live here who are Vincentian. And so we kind of want people, but we are maybe 80-90% African in origin, with a strong presence of Kalinago.
I like me living in Barbados, and I am Vincentian.
Yes, exactly.
Because my parents are, and that makes me a Vincentian. And I like to tell people I'm of Vincentian parentage.
But could I ask you, where in St. Vincent were your parents from, if I might ask?
My father was from, I think, Shorty Billy. He's a Jack.
Well,
he was Cyril Jack.
Cyril Jack. Well,
My
can
mother was
I
George
tell you
Horn.
something? If your parents were from Chateaubriand, you may well have had some Kalinago, an indigenous Garifuna blood in your veins too. You know?
Could be.
Yes.
Could be.
And because I was born in Chateaubriand too.
You were born there.
I was born in Chateaubriand.
Yeah.
You know?
And my mother thinks she was from Stubbs.
And my grandmother was from Stubbs too.
So you could very well be found to me, though.
But we could be cousins. You know what I mean? Look at that.
You know, the Tuesday night man tell me that I could be family to you because the lady in Kingston that had a shop, Norma Sutherland, is family to me.
Oh.
You know Norma Sutherland?
I've heard about her, yes.
Right. She had a big grocery store in Kingston, and KZ told me that he think he's family to her.
Oh, I see.
Which means that he might be family to me.
Look at that. Look at that.
But
you're
it's
more
a small world.
you're more Vincentian. You know, you spend a little time here, you might see the Bajan accent being rubbed off, and you started speaking just like
disappearing.
a Vincentian.
And they don't mind it at all.
I
plan it later down in the year.
Yeah.
Later down the last quarter of this year.
You make a visit.
I plan to come to St. Vincent.
Man, come make a visit.
And I want to come and spend some time in the studio with Roleza.
You bet, man. You bet. Yes.
Not a problem, Mr. Hard.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Oh, you call me Mr. Mason.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, I just wanted to know this Carfuna background because
yes.
I heard Jomo Thomas. She talk a lot about the Carfunas.
Yes.
And I just wanted to know who they really are.
Yeah, but Jomo's a good.
I was tired.
Jomo's a good guy and so forth. I mean, you know, he be able to give it to you well. You know, believe it or not, I used to be president of the ex-teachers association, and Mayor Dinkins declared a day in the early 90s as Garifuna Day, and it's amazing how much Garifuna are in New York, in Houston, and in California and other parts of the world. It's absolutely unbelievable.
But now, and closing, let me say this to you. I did the middle passage in the reverse. In that, my first ship, when I started to go to sea in 1973, my first ship I joined in Barbados. And we sailed from Barbados to water, stores, and fuel before we went on to Sierra Leone.
Okay.
Freetown, Sierra Leone.
Mm-hmm.
So as opposed to people coming from Ghana, Sierra Leone, those places, to Barbados, back in the day with the when I had the slaves pack up in them schooners like sardines.
You went the other way.
I did it in reverse, but I did it in luxury because it was on a very large cargo ship.
Nice.
Okay.
And I enjoyed it. And you know what I did when I arrived in Sierra Leone? When the ship was cleared by the authorities, I went down the gangway. I spread a handkerchief on the ground. I kneel down. I kissed the ground. And I say, I'm home again. And I felt so proud of that moment.
Mm-hmm.
If in those days there were cameras and that kind of thing, I would have some pictures. Well, not if they had cameras, but I mean, like if I had access to a camera in those days, I would have had some pictures. When I knelt down, I knelt on the ground and kissed the ground and say, I'm home again. I felt really proud of that because I am proud. Anyway, guys.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you.
You have a great day.
You as well. Thank you, Mr. Horn. Okay. All right. So let's take final two persons we're trying to call. Let's take this. Hey, Kojo.
Yes. Don't stop calling people cards. They're not cards in St. Vincent.
Kalinago.
Good. Kalinago or Garifuna. They're not cards. Cards will be over carry name.
Carib is a derogatory name?
I'm not too sure about that. Some people may say that, Kojo. I want to.
Doc,
Yes.
Doc,
Yes.
go and check the word Carib. Go and check the word Carib. What do you mean?
Yes. I know it is considered to be derogatory in some regard, but it's also how you
when did it become derogatory though?
It was always.
Because this is the very first time I'm hearing this.
Roleza, some persons come and so there's been a movement to kind of change to use that more indigenous name, Kalinago.
No,
but why is it term derogatory?
Yeah, could you?
Because it tells the people that you are like you're cannibalistic and all that stuff. Check out the history of the word Carib.
Well, I actually I just googled it after thing, but so it refers to an indigenous people of the Lesser Antilles, northern South America. So it does define them as a group of people. So I'm surprised to hear that this is a derogatory term.
They go a bit deeper, you see.
Okay, so I do see a thing here, Kalinago. Kalinago is also called Island Caribs or simply Caribs.
Yeah. No.
You know, it is a bit of it is what you prefer to be called. But guess what? Do you know, I got to misadvertise, Cleve Scott sent me a circular, Kojo, that the book, the first volume is...
I just bought that.
Is going to be launched on the 20th of March.
It's on Amazon already.
Yes, I know.
Amazon already.
I know, but in terms of getting a signed copy, I want to get a signed copy. You know what I mean? That's the point.
Well, I'm not lucky like you. I'm not there.
No, I like the signed copy because then it's a collector's item. I'll get another copy again, but you know, a collector's item, the signed copy of the artist.
If I bring on my DC, if I have to bring on my DC book that I bought, I have a whole suitcase alone of books. Fine. Anyhow, something about that fire I forget to tell people. A lot of people make it nice about fire. That building is a very old building. The electricity run, the wires run through that place. Then those are old wires. People adding microwave, people adding this, people adding that. Those things could be a tribute to the fire too. Mm-hmm. Because when you right now, if you put a lot of stuff on one particular socket, it could overheat the wire if it doesn't trip the breaker. Mm-hmm. And if it trips the breaker, then you see it. But if it doesn't trip the breaker, that wire get hot and it blaze. That fire might start in a junction box, nobody knows. Yeah. So when people make it nice, I think people must listen. You know, and I only talk to say I don't like to do Carib because I don't.
Okay, all right. So thanks, Kojo. We're going to take the final call at this time. Thanks, Kojo. All right, Queens.
Hello?
Go ahead. I see that you're trying to get in for a bit. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I got it. Doc was talking about the space heaters. You're talking about America, right? When you talk about space heater, you're not talking about St. Vincent, are you?
Yes, I mentioned that because I knew that there were people like yourself who live in America who are listening to the program. So the public, outreach, I wanted to also speak to them and said that it doesn't pertain to St. Vincent. So therefore, the percentage of people with cooking, if it's 48 globally, it would be higher for St. Vincent because we don't have space heaters and we also don't have, certain other things. Really, I mentioned that,
chimneys, right? So chimneys.
Yeah, we don't have a chimney.
Yeah.
We don't have a block chimney. Like I'm sure you have a chimney that you got to sweep every year, right? Right. Queens, you just sweep out, get your chimney cheaped out, get all that soot out. If it get blocked, it could cause problems,
Yeah, I didn't get around to that yet. But, yeah, that's something I gotta do. But space heater, I bought a space heater one time, and every year I used to watch every year Channel 7 in the winter time they do a fire safety program, half an hour. So I watch it, and it said that these space heaters could cause fire. So I never opened the box. It's still in the box. I never use it because of that. It 4 years ago, in January, 4 years ago, there was a fire in the Bronx. 17 people got killed because they were using the fire spacers because the landlord wasn't providing adequate heat in that building. And there are always a lot of fires winter time in the 5 boroughs because the people using the space heaters and stuff and to heat up the place. And another thing that could cause the fire, they say, is like when you charge your phone, if you take your phone off and you leave the plug-in, that could cause fire too, as well, they say.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Thank you. Thanks for that.
All right. Thanks. Thanks.
All right, then. Bye.
Have a good one.
Okay.
And as we were there talking about fires, if you go to One News, you would see that a fire, well, at the time, just after 9, I'm not sure if it's still going, but there's a fire in Lago Heights, all right? But you can find more information on One News. All right, let me see something. So Caribs. Okay, so all right. Well, I can't say the word on air, but the derogatory term used for Black people, somebody is saying that that's the same way that Caribs were referred to. And let me see what this other person is saying. Yes, Carib is derogatory meaning cannibal. The information on Google is what is fed into it, but Carib means cannibal, unfortunately. Okay, this is... all right.
The common understanding is that that's one of the things. But I think it's also a matter of how you take it. Because they referred to Caribs as being cannibals. Therefore, some people say, well, Caribs being cannibals. You know, but Carib sounds more like Caribbean to me. You know what I mean? But I think the experts and so...
All right, I'm reading something off of Wikipedia. So, of course, Wikipedia might not be the best source for information, but it's the quickest right now. So, in the early colonial period, the Kalinago had a reputation as warriors who raided neighboring islands. According to details of Spanish conquistadors, the Kalinago were cannibals who regularly ate roasted human flesh. There is no hard evidence of Caribs eating human flesh, though one historian points out it might have been seldomly done as a means of taunting or even frightening their Arawak enemies. All right, so, okay. Yeah, I just never looked at it as a derogatory term, although I suppose, recognize the origins of it. But okay, interesting. Interesting.
Does that mean Kalinago?
It's probably the better word to use.
Does not mean cannibals as well. You know what I mean? So it's
I guess because the Spanish gave them the name.
I understand. I understand the thinking, and therefore I've graduated to using Kalinago. As opposed to Carib.
All right, interesting information here, folks. All righty, so I understand and I could take the point then. But
then again, there's so many persons who won't use the term Gary Funa because they feel it doesn't exist. Where did it come from and so forth. And
I've heard that discussion as well too.
Better.
Yeah. Interesting. All right, so it's an interesting morning with some information that I'm learning for the first time. Not this. Well, parts of it. But anyway,
but can I tell you something? This is the last thing.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Belize and I went into a museum. And there was an illustration of Gilisi. Who was Gilisi? Gilisi was Chatier's, one of Chatier's daughters, who survived Baliso and made the journey to Rotan. Believe it or not, on that journey, they stopped in Kingston to get water. Kingston, Jamaica, to get water before landing at Rotan. And then they were on Rotan for about 8 or 9 years. A real, inhospitable thing. And Rotan is off the coast of Honduras, not off of the coast of Belize. And then they migrated. Where there was a thing that jobs were being created in Belize. So they migrated over to several cities in Honduras and eventually over and settled in a place called Dandriga in Belize, part of the lumber thing. She moved there with her 14 sons with the surname Lambie. And they went on to start up their own villages. You know how we have villages along the coast, Leyu and Rose Bank and so forth. And they started up the small little villages there. So Gilisi, Chatier's daughter, made that journey. And there's an illustration of her basically in the museum in Dandriga, Belize. You know?
And as you're talking about museum, I seen Calvert Jones made a post about what is a pipe? Right. So Chatier's punch ladle, right?
Yes.
Was
is in
the British Museum, and I'm here.
No, listen. Three years ago.
I wonder what else.
No, 3 years ago, I was up in England at our High Commission, and there's a Vincentian lady there who was making the effort to repatriate the ladle. And unfortunately, they haven't done so. They had said that by the end of 2024, they would have been able to repatriate it. They haven't been able to do it. So guess what? There is a slavery museum down there in the River Thames. I went down there. It's amazing, the information you learn down there. And so I'm just, it's opening up a lot of things. But this ladle, there was a picture of the ladle down there too. And I'm hoping that we can repatriate it back to St. Vincent at some point in time.
And I think they always say the richest place of history is the British Museum, because so many things from indigenous countries are there, you know. But anyhow, all right, so we definitely have to head on out of this segment, folks. It has been an interesting one, and we are going to head directly into today's Community Dateline.
Nothing else sounds as good as WEFM, the clean, fresh sound.